All right. I'm going to teach you a marketing trick. Not really a secret, more of a trick. But here it is. Whatever you're trying to sell, take that name and just stack more adjectives on top of it. Like, even if it's already got a few, just throw a few more on top. I call this adjectification marketing. It's kind of like objectification, but, with adjectives, and you figured it out already. And it's extremely effective, especially in food marketing. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say that I have an ice cream stand. In my ice cream stand, I have two flavors. The first flavor is vanilla, just plain old vanilla. The second flavor is artisanal, slow-churned Madagascar vanilla. Ooh. Which one are you going to buy? You're going to buy the slow-churn bullshit. I know you will. I would too. And it's because it has a massive, juicy, compound adjective on the front of it. Like if your stomach had a dick, it would be erect just after hearing that name and sending signals to your stupid brain to do naughty things to that ice cream. But why? Like, what is it about just chaining a bunch of adjectives onto a name that makes it more appealing, especially when they're meaningless words? Like artisanal, you can call anything you want artisanal. Nobody really checks. And slow-churned, like, can you taste the difference between the slow-churned ice cream and ice cream that's churned at whatever the normal speed is? I presume also still slow, because I can't, and you can tell just by looking at me that I eat a shitload of ice cream. And the vanilla part, Madagascar. Like, do you know where vanilla comes from? That's right, Madagascar. Like 80 to 85% of the global production of vanilla comes from Madagascar. So it's meaningless. Like, it's not impressive. If you want to impress me, tell me that the vanilla in this ice cream came from a vine that grew in Mike's backyard after his grandma threw up a mudslide in the 1950s. That's a cool story. I'm impressed. Then we can have an interesting conversation about the terroir of suburban Pasadena vanilla production. Madagascar vanilla is just vanilla. And so my little stand here, even though I'm selling you two flavors, I just have one container of ice cream. And I'll bet nobody even buys the straight vanilla one. Because even though I know the scam, I'm going to buy the slow churn bullshit too. And I believe that actually has something to do with the betrayal of the American consuming public. Hear me out here. Like, if we were to put these two flavors in a grocery store, imagine them in your typical grocery store in the frozen foods aisle. You're walking down, you look inside the freezer chest, and you see them there. What do they look like? Where are they? How much do they cost? I can tell you that you're picturing this artisanal, slow-churned Madagascar vanilla in a tiny little pint that costs you like $10. And you're envisioning the one labeled as just vanilla as coming out of a 5-gallon bucket that sits at the bottom of the freezer and is priced in ways that make you think suspiciously about its origin. Like, you think it's probably just cleverly disguised industrial solvent. People still buy it, but like you buy it for like kids' birthday parties and office events, like where people are going to eat it that you just kind of don't care about. I mean, maybe your kid, but not his friends, right? Also, child bodies are better at handling carcinogens than adults. But the point is, if you have two ice creams, if you have two products even, but we'll say ice creams here, and you have a sneaking suspicion that one of them is like 6% toenails and spider eggs, and the other one was made by somebody that gives a shit, you're gonna buy that one, the second one. And listen, my hands are not clean in this either. Like, I do this too. This is not just comedy that I'm delivering to you. This is fair trade, free range, non-GMO, mostly stupid comedy that is legitimately on my business card because it works. Some of you are hearing this and going like, okay, Matt, but what's the harm, really? Like, okay, you've talked about the ice cream thing and the betrayal of the American public. That's fine. That's evidence of harm, but that harm wasn't done by Adjectified marketing. So this crusade that you're on to end objectified marketing, like where's the evidence of real harm? Thank you for the well articulated criticism. So now let me present to you Exhibit A, salted caramel. Because this ubiquitous bullshit is not deserving of your time or money, but it is very successful. And the only thing that makes sense to me, the only way I can really chalk up that success to anything is if I chalk it up to objectified marketing. Because do you know what's better than salted caramel? Fucking caramel. Like you take water, sugar, butter, cream, you add a little bit of heat, and the result is something that has thousands of unique organic chemical compounds. And your stupid mouth can taste every single one of them in a beautiful orgasmic symphony of flavor. At least until, like a dumbass, you club it over the head with a fistful of salt and ruin it. And it is everywhere, legitimately everywhere. Like you'll find salted caramel fudge swirl ice cream. You'll find salted caramel brownies. You'll find salted caramel candles. Candles! And you can't smell salt. Like scientifically, sodium chloride has 0 vapor pressure. That means you can't smell it. So the difference between a salted caramel candle and a caramel candle, absolutely 0. But true story, Yankee fucking Candle Company sells a salted caramel candle. You can't tell the difference. You can't call them on it. They just get away with it. Because what they're selling you isn't the difference between salted caramel and caramel. What they're selling you is the name. And you buy it. But some of you are saying, now Matt, isn't it true though that adding salt to a sweet food does enhance its sweet flavor? Like my grandpa used to put salt on his watermelon all the time. And yes, I will give you that point. But the right amount is just a small amount. Like it's the amount that if somebody tastes, they're going to say, did you salt this caramel? Which is the same amount that somebody is going to say, did they salt this caramel? Because the package said salted caramel, and I feel kind of cheated. Like it's a little bit, just a little bit mixed in. You don't want giant palate-destroying nuggets just like mountained on top of your caramel. Like if you can clear the ice on your sidewalk by just shaking a bag of salted caramels over it, that is too much. And now someone's going, yo, this dude is genuinely pissed about salted caramel. Yes! And you would be too if corporate marketing ruined something you love. Like, I live in Wisconsin. And if corporate marketing executives decided tomorrow to launch a coordinated attack on deep fried cheese curds, these animals would be rioting in the streets. There would be heads on spikes in front of the creamery down the road. It's got to stop. So now I'm speaking to you, corporate marketing executives. Yeah, I have a proposal. I want to give you something in trade for salted caramel. Are you ready? Here it is. Brown butter caramel. Doesn't that sound delicious? And it's even better because unlike salted caramel, which is just adjective noun, this is compound adjective noun. It's even better. And who doesn't love brown butter? Aside from maybe like super racist people. But fuck them. They're not your target audience. Right? And the beauty is that just like Madagascar vanilla is just vanilla, brown butter caramel is just caramel. The butter browning along with the sugar is what makes caramel awesome. So hit me up, marketing execs, if you're ready to talk. Now for the rest of you, because I have almost zero confidence in executives actually being willing to make that trade, here's what we can do to end the tyranny of objectified marketing and restore caramel to its rightful place. We can all boycott salted caramel. Right? If everybody who saw this boycotted salted caramel, yeah, no, you're right. There's not enough of us that wouldn't get anything done. Okay, backup plan. If everyone who saw this beat up a corporate marketing executive, stay with me now. Some of you would go to jail. Some of you would go to jail, but before you get there, you would get your day in court. And because you would be in court somewhere for having beat up an executive over salted caramel, I can almost guarantee you that somewhere in some newsroom, someone will write an article that will eventually make it onto a news site. And the first words of the headline will read, "A salted caramel." And it will have all been worth it.